What's up, my guy?
What's good?
It's like your background just keeps getting cooler.
Yeah, I'm in warrior mode. Let's uh
So
let's
good.
get our little virtual toast.
Oh, all right. Hey, here you go. I got my big water jug.
Bam!
Oh,
Bam! Shatter that stuff, man. My
yeah,
goodness.
mine's metal.
Jesse's told me the story about that massive Pantene you have there.
Yeah, I gave him my other one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I gotta join, I gotta get in there. Oh man. So yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah. Are you recording just so I can make sure we're recording?
Yep.
Because
We're
you already know, like I've been on kind of fire the last few days, and so like the shit that's gonna come out of my face might just be really, really good. So just make sure you're recording either way.
yeah, we're all good.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, let's follow that fire, man. We have a bunch of tracks in the queue, but honestly, I'm like, let's just keep them in the queue, and we're striving for, or starving for more content or more tracks to put out, then we can always pull from it. I think I'm more excited about the work that we're about to do than the
Me
work
too.
that we've done. So
I think that's always the way it is, though. Like even if like it's like you got a Nobel Prize and you're like, that's so good. But what's the next thing we're working on? Like, yeah, cool, we got a Nobel Prize, but like, okay, what's our next? Let's keep going. Like, and so I think the passion element of what we're doing, it has to always be there. But the hard thing about that is I have trainings that I've done that are fucking just liquid gold, and I just throw them in the corner. Like, let's go get some more. It's like, yeah, but that's still really good training. And I'm like, it is a good training, but I'm already past that training. I'm on this training. But the issue I have is that I'm at like the highest tier of shit right now, and I'm breaking down the most complex writings of the last few thousand years to try to find the common link and patterns that make it so all of existence keeps going in weird directions. So, like, who the fuck do you know is working on that?
right.
And I figured it out, by the way, which is still blowing my fucking mind. That's why I've been writing all damn day. I figured it out, and I even tested it on you, and within 15 minutes, cracked a core piece of like, oh fuck, like I'm like this. I did this. I did it with my mom yesterday too. I talked to her last night, and I was like, watch this, and I just did a small. She doesn't know what I did, but I was just like, watch how I find it, and it was spot on. And I'm like, this is working every single time. And every time I've stress tested it, it works exactly right. But the tricky part is you have to have awareness, you have to have acceptance, and you have to train your humility for accountability to be able to apply the authenticity piece that I'm going to give you. If you're still coveting your pride and your defenders of deception and pride are still up, you won't be able to receive the truth of the information that you need in order to find who you really are or what your purpose is. You won't be able to create, you won't be able to receive abundance, you won't be able to have all the things that you want because you're in your own way. And that's the common pattern. It's the strategy that we chose to try to get the thing that we desire never actually gives you the thing you desire. If it works, it ends up collapsing on itself and you lose everything anyway, which means the more that you win, the more you end up coveting your fears on loss, the more you're worried about losing it. The more successful you become, the more you worry about losing your success. It's the same pattern over and over again when it comes from a false source. But when it comes from real source, the more success you have, the more success expands around you and everything grows. Does that make sense? So when you plug into God, your resources become endless and then everything around you grows. As soon as it becomes about you, your resources become finite. And then you start being coveting and fearful of losing what you have. And to protect the kingdom of bullshit you just created, you must use all of these techniques of deception and doubt and fear and distractions and all the things that come with it, with consuming and with controlling and with anything that would make us you're doing the performance and getting validations and all of the things that make it so you think you want the thing, but once you get those things, they're coming from sources that are finite. You're going to lose it all. And then you start going, I'm going to lose all my things, and I'm going to lose my beauty, I'm going to lose my money, I'm going to lose my fame, I'm going to lose my popularity, I'm going to lose my status, I'm going to lose, I'm going to lose, I'm going to lose. And then you start worshiping the fear, and the government of fear starts moving you further and further away from connection until you end up in just pure and absolute separation. You're fucked. It fucks you. But I'm looking at every single strategy. And now I've gone through tons of them. Like, I've lost count of how many of these I'm looking at. Everything from the 7 deadly sins all the way into worshiping grief and victimhood and all the behavior patterns of all these elements of addiction and all these things. How do they all work? And every single one is following the same pattern that ends with absolute separation and losing everything. Everyone ends up with the same thing, which is why when Jesus says you built your house on sand, not on rock, that's what he's talking about. It's not what not building the house that's bad. Your desire is good. Your goal is good. Your wish is good. Your dream is good. But the strategy you ended up trusting wasn't true. You trusted a lie with your whole dream. And if you trust a lie, it eventually falls apart. It's the strategy, not the sin. The sin is strategy. If you trust liars or lying, especially to yourself, you'll consume yourself into oblivion. It works 0 fucking %. It's like a parasite, not a symbiote. It's not something that works together. It's something that only kills the host. It looks like it's winning at first, though. That's why people fall for it. The false promises work for a minute, but the more that it works, the less that it works. And that's how you can tell it's the flawed one. It's a counterfeit. It's not true. It's fake. It's false.
No, it's fantastic stuff. So so tell me all the stuff that you're excited about. What's going on with the things that you feel like you've really made breakthroughs with?
Okay. So this is extremely complex. What I'll do is I'll give you a couple pieces that summarize probably 100 pages worth of work. And if you want to go ahead and this is just stuff to chew on. If you really understand what it is that I've got here, like, it is a pretty continual fucking breakdown of like all of the things of why everything we do all falls the fuck apart. This goes into every sin, every self-worship. There's only 2 gods, just so you know. And everybody who wants to argue with me, just join me. I'll bring your Bible and I'll show you how it works. Like, there's only 2 gods. It's only the creator and yourself. There's no other ones. Every single thing goes to serve yourself or connect to creation. So there's only 2 ways it goes: creation or separation. It's the only way. So creation leads to connection. The connection makes it so that love is the strategy. Strategy for love grows and creates and makes more and more and more, creates abundance. This is why if you connect to creator, you become a creator. Love expands, everything grows, everything becomes more. But if you start becoming somebody who worships self, you start becoming a person who wants to consume. Give me yours. Oh, you grew fruit? Give me your fruit. Now I have fruit. And you start taking from everybody else. I need more. And this starts getting into the sins of greed, and starts getting into gluttony. It starts getting into consumption and lust, and more, I need more, I need more. Well, how do you get more? Well, you can either grow your own farm and have plenty, or you can steal from everybody who has a farm and fuck them. And you feel like you're the one who's winning, but really you're destroying your entire entire kingdom. You're orchestrating your own failure. You're falling apart by winning. So the more that you suck everybody else dry so you can have more, it ends up eventually just killing the community, killing the kingdom. And so every single one, whether it's envy, whether it's lust, or sloth, or pride, or fear, or whatever it is that people go into, and it starts getting into disorders and depressions and victimhood mentality. Like, I started going through all of the different systems. They all do exactly the same thing. So the information that I just put into your chat it's a combination of wording that is so deep. It's probably 100 pages worth of information in just these two little copy and pastes I've given you.
Mhm.
That makes this difficult because I'd love to be able to explain the very simple and basic element of why does all of our shit not work. The very core of why it doesn't work is the bypass. What that means is every desire, you have an idea, a goal, something that you want and need, something that's good. That's not bad. Then you go into, okay, I want to get this. Who am I going to trust to help me get the desire I want, whether it's safety or belonging or whatever it is? There's something that you want, right? And you go, okay, who do I trust to get it? Well, on one hand, we can grow and become the kind of person who can sustain and have that result. Every wish that you would have is something that can be done. You want $1 million? Well, people have made $1 million, so we can just work and become the kind of person to make $1 million. Let's go ahead and focus on that. Or do you want to have big, strong muscles? Well, people have gotten big, strong muscles. You just got to work real hard and keep focused and dedicated on growing into big muscles. Or do you want to have more beauty, or do you want to have more success and fame, or do you want to have whatever you want? Okay. Well, how do you want to get it? We can either become the person who can sustain that, or we can bypass it. I want the results without having to become anything different. How can I shortcut this and just win the lottery? How can I get more beautiful without actually being beautiful? Well, I'll just get more makeup, or I'll wear a mask, or I'll get plastic surgery. I'll just fuck it. And I won't do anything that's beautiful. I'll just change everything so I can wear a mask every day, or I'll get a big muscle suit and make it look like, and I'll walk with fake lats to make you think I'll look bigger. Like I'll fake this thing. I'm going to pretend to be something so that way I can get the result. Well, that's the moment everything goes wrong. It's not that you became a manifestation of sloth or sin or fear or greed or pride. It's none of those things. And pride and deceptions are tools. Doubt's a tool. These are tools. They're not rulers. And so you start realizing what's feeding what. What are you trying to feed? What's the strategy? Every single disorder and sin that I was finding is linked to the strategy that you're using to try to get what you want. They're all just a strategy. So every sin is not like, you're a sinner, you're condemned and going to hell. It's like, no, that's not what that is. It's the strategy that you're using will only end with this thing going into separation, and separation from source and creation is hell. You will create your own hell the more you worship yourself, because when you worship yourself, it's only a finite amount you can get. You don't create, you consume. And when you're a consumer, eventually you start running out and fearing having none because it's finite. But when you're plugged into source, you can create infinite. It's kind of like if I was using a tool that I can either plug into the wall and use all day and build all kinds of shit, or I have a battery. And eventually the battery, I can do it for a little bit, but eventually the battery dies and I either have to consume more batteries or I am done.
You know, I'm loving a biblical reference here. I go through the Bible every year, and it's just gone past King Solomon. You know, in biblical history, Solomon, however you want to say his name, I'm saying it wrong probably, was granted the most wisdom of anyone in human history. He was also, because he wanted to just be of service and just do that righteousness, God also gave him a mess load of wealth, right? Because you said you wanted to help people instead of wishing for millions, I'm not only going to give you the wisdom that you seek, but I'm going to give you the millions as well. And the really powerful section was where he talks about it all being vapor. You know, he was so rich beyond rich. I don't think there's anybody ever as rich as he was. And he was the one saying, it all just ends in vapor. And I love what you're saying of this finding that you found, which is that it just, there's never enough, there's never enough, there's never enough. And he's proof. He fell from grace. It went too far. It was never enough. It went well past having everything you could possibly want. You know, he started having all these wives, he started worshiping other gods and doing all these different things, to the point to where he ended tragically, which a lot of the heroes in the Bible did. But he created Psalms. Oh no, his father did Psalms, but he did wisdom, and he did Ecclesiastes, which I would say wrong than saying, but there's so much power in the few words that he's given, that clearly you could see why in history he was sought after by so many people to get his take on things, because God gave him wisdom, you know. And so it's funny because you were like, yeah, challenge the whatever is said in the Bible, see where is this, that, and the other. And I'm like, man, that there is a very strong connection to what you're saying here with what you're describing. So
Yeah, the story of Solomon is fucking bananas, that's for sure. But no, his discernment was the highest of all. Like, even my discernment, which is really high, like his was so pinpointed and so targeted that the stories don't do even a tenth of the justice of how far he could see into someone's heart. And that's a very interesting thing. So that story of like cutting the baby in half and stuff like that, I
yeah,
remember going like, this is stupid. You're gonna tell me like, this is
no,
my baby, this is my baby. It's like, cut the baby in half, give it to whoever, give him half. And
yeah,
you're like, that's your fucking plan? Cut babies in half? Like, this guy's the wisest. You're gonna tell me like his strategy for a paternity test is cut the baby in half. That's his Maury Povich show, is cut the baby in half. That's what you're saying? He's like, no, he already knew the answer before he started. He just needed to radically expose the ridiculousness of the person trying to steal a baby, and how much this person's completely disconnected from this child. He already knew the answer. He just wanted to make it publicly seen, like, you can't deny that this is clearly not your fucking kid. Like, and it's one of those things where he knew the answer so deeply that he could even do a radical display to show, like, here's how absolutely sure I am of what the truth is. And so it's really amazing when you watch how far Solomon went on things. They still actually use Solomon's books to this day, and you know, secret societies and stuff like that, because the stuff that he uncovered is further than anybody else had ever gone into the other realms, you know, to give it a lack of a better word. Like, he had demons work for him and all kinds of stuff. He was tapped into information that people were never meant to have. But
yeah,
he solved equation stuff. But yeah, he was the first trillionaire. That's
yeah,
when you looked at the amount of money he had, he was the first trillionaire.
yeah. I mean, in just it's amazing. That anyway. So
But for him
yeah,
to get to the point of like, I have everything you could ever want, and it's all doesn't mean anything.
and for him to say it doesn't matter, you know, I love that what he had, like 50 gold shields, which is, you know, one of them would be like $1 billion, and he had like 50 of them, you know. And it's like, you would never create a shield out of the softest metal. Like, it wouldn't protect you for anything, you know. So the wealth that he had was just beyond comprehension. And for him to speak from a space of saying, and it's all vapor,
Yeah,
it's all
it's true.
trying to feed something.
Jesus talked about that too, and he was talking about like, don't value the treasures of earth over the treasures of heaven. These things are all finite. He's like, this stuff isn't real, man. This is all going to be stuff that it rots, or it rusts, or it gets stolen. Like, it's not going to be yours forever. He's like, it's just
Yeah,
stuff. But why don't you gather up stuff that matters? And this is where it gets into the treasures of heaven, are things that are like family and love and loyalty and commitments and connections, and you know, the things that when you give, it multiplies, trust and truth, the things that really matter. And he's talking about the treasures of heaven. Those are multiply when you give them, but when you multiply the treasures of earth, it's the law of subtraction. I give it to you, now I don't have it no more. or greedy elements of things like a Twix commercial where it's like 2 for me, none for you. And it's like, well, you're missing the element of what's the point of having Twix for us to both enjoy an experience together. Because you don't take the stuff with you. A U-Haul doesn't follow a hearse very often. It's not a common deal. And so you're not going to see people who gather things, and then now that they're done, you bury them in your pyramid so that way I have all of my stuff with me for all time. It's like, you're done here. That's nothing. Those don't exist anymore. You go to the next thing, and those things don't come with you. But it shows you what it is that you worship, and no different than famous fighter named Tyler Durden said, the things you own end up owning you. You become a slave to your own stuff if you worship your stuff. And you think that somehow having more makes it so that you somehow are worth more than another person. But when you value treasures of earth, you're valuing vapor. It's not a real thing. Value something that actually matters, because you can sit there with all of whatever your favorite item is. But if it's you all by yourself, it means nothing. There's no value if you have nothing to share with others. It's like, I'll give you $1 trillion, but you'll be on a desert island.
Right.
If you're the only person on the island, how much is money worth? What's it for? The only reason money has value is because we have society. It means it's not worth anything by itself. It's nothing.
It's funny because I feel as though the answer, the pull that I have here is that it's like, okay, so what's the shortcut? What's the answer? So what's the answer? And I think even asking that question shows that you're nowhere near the answer.
The answer is the question. The question is, what is truth?
And it's releasing and just me trying to verbalize it as well, of that seeking. And I know that you're a broken record when it comes to when these moments happen. You're like, duh, it's said right there in the Sermon on the Mount. The soon as
people can't understand the Sermon on the Mount, and that's why it's funny. It's the cheat sheet for life. He gave you all the answers for existence, but people don't understand it, and so they want to go to like Romans or fucking Philippians or Corinthians and think that they're fucking better than others, when Jesus 3 times in the Sermon on the Mount says, don't use this book to fucking praise yourself, you dipshit. You got to really do it. My version of Jesus is he cusses a lot, but
yeah.
But he's like, hey, you're gonna tell people to do stuff that you don't do, like the fucking Gentiles do, like the Pharisees do. That's the lowest in heaven, man. You're breaking rule number 8. You're telling people to do stuff you've never done before. You're the worst, dude. That's not stewardship. That's not leadership. You're lying to lead, not leading or living the way you actually teach. You're a hypocrite. You're the worst. Or the people who are being false prophets, or the people who judge others. He's like, you're a fraud. He's like, you're going to judge somebody else for something you do 10 times more of. You're worse than they are, and you feel like you're the authority. You're not the authority. You're a hypocrite. You're a liar. Oh, you did all of these things in God's name? Oh, okay. Yeah, you sure did. You cast out demons. Oh, you went to abortion clinics and called girls cunts for going through a difficult time. Yeah, you're a fucking hero for God. You're the good guy. It's like, none of this shit was for me. You took tithing so you could buy a Ferrari, motherfucker. You are not one of mine. You bought you a Prada bag so you can look better than all the other girls in the church. You're not one of mine. You used me for you.
Mm-hmm.
You're not righteous. You're self-righteous. You
Right.
mixed up the message. You didn't get it. You weren't doing this with love to grow from others. You did it for validation and comparison to make you better than others in the name of God. Wrong God.
Right.
Yeah, Jesus went pretty hard on like, you're doing bullshit. The rest of the Bible doesn't really matter if you didn't get the basics.
Right.
It's the cheat sheet to life. Don't be a cunt. That's exactly that's how I take the Sermon on the Mount.
So if I'm to track with somewhat of the discoveries that you're excited about, and I hope you don't mind my stab at it, it's not necessarily the desire that's wrong. You're not inherently a wrong person for wanting whatever that desire is. It's the strategy and that you're choosing ends up being the area of focus. That it's what strategy are you using? It's not. And so if I'm tracking so far there, and that's where I'm saying, okay, so how do you pick the right strategy? But then that leads to this concept of if you have to answer that question, you're missing the point. The
No,
point.
I don't think the question itself is wrong. There's nothing wrong with questions. No, what is how do you choose the best strategy? Well, it turns into like, are you looking to become the thing that has that, or are you looking to bypass the work to do it?
So the strategy would be to achieve the desire.
Yeah, I want to achieve the desire. You're like, well, how do you want to do it? Hmm, I could just take theirs and then I have it. You're like, so theft. You want to steal? Hmm, maybe I can just trick them into giving it to me. Okay, so manipulation. That's the strategy. Okay, and the goal is to have what? So I can have more of these, so that people know that, so I can feel safe and secure. Let's just go with greed. Like if I take more money from you, then I'll feel safe, right? So I'll swindle you out of some money. I'll take way more from you than I give you, and I'll continue to just gather all the resources from everybody I take from, so that way I feel safe and secure because I have the most, right? But the issue is if I keep taking from everybody and stealing and stealing and stealing and stealing, eventually I start gathering the abundance that I'm like, everyone's going to want to try and take my money. What if I lose all my money? What if I lose all that I have? I have more than others, but what if I lose it? I don't want to lose this. My life would be horrible. I love my life with all of this, but what if I lose all of this? And then it starts getting into trying to protect it. I have to keep all of this safe. I have more than you. They're all going to steal it. They're all going to steal it. And then the thing that was supposed to bring you safety, security is now your source of anxiety.
Right.
It's like, wait a second, what's going on here? Well, I took it from them, but I took from so many people that they're eventually all going to come and get this, and I can't stop all of them at once. So
Right.
I have to find better ways to stop them from trying to take my money because I have more than others, and they are all gonna, they're greedy. They're all gonna want my money. It's like, no, you are greedy, and you're scared of your own behavior coming back to you. So what
Mm,
I'm pointing out is if we look at the behavior itself, the strategy is to take from others so I have more. How do I know if it's not going to work? Because if it does work, it starts to reveal how much it's not going to work. I wanted to have safety, security, and peace, and now I have fucking anxiety and I'm freaking out all fucking day about losing it. Like that went the other direction pretty quickly. It went from gathering to now protecting. It went two different unhealthy directions in a row, which means the more that it worked, the less that it worked. The foundation can't hold the weight of the stuff that you've gathered because it was all built on bullshit. And eventually it crumbles. It can't sustain itself and it creates disorder. Your soul knows that you're bullshit. You're in radical fucking fear all the damn time. You're doing unhealthy comparisons and control systems. It all starts getting shitty. The more that it works, the more it exposes itself. And so that's just one example of like, how did this go off the rails? Okay, how do I generate true wealth? Well, why don't I build something with passion and faith and good intention? And my intention is to create service that helps other people through something that I love to do. And I enjoy doing it with people. And now I'm sharing this dream, and other people are like, wow, I feel really inspired being with you on this dream. And now we build it together. But there's trials and things that go difficult things and things that make you have to overcome. And so I learn through these things and I grow through these things. And the failures and the successes all are teaching me things to help me be able to sustain and maintain having all of the wealth that we've been able to accumulate. But the reason I have this wealth is to be able to help others. So now I can invest in your company and invest in this guy's company and be an angel investor for this guy. I go like, hey, I believe in you. Let me give you a couple bucks to get started, because the more I give to you, I know that this will expand out, and now your dream will help others and their dream will help others. And so now me fulfilling the dream I loved in the first place is now helping other people build their dreams. And now it's just going out and out. I'm not worried about losing the money. In fact, I give way more out because I know that that's the point of having the money. And the more that I give, the more that I seem to be receiving, because the way that it works is the more you give just to give, the more that comes back to you from all sources. And it just keeps multiplying and multiplying. I have no fear of losing it. Even if I lose some money, we'll get more. I'm not worried about it. We've become a person who can create this, not a person who covets this. And because I'm not trying to protect it, I'm like, I don't have to protect it. Even if we lost it all, we're the kind of, I know how to build it again. I did it and it wasn't, I know what to do now. I have way more efficient methods now because I've got better tools than I did when I first started. I have more experience than when I first started because I became a person who can sustain this, not a person who gained this without earning it.
Rick, this is I've got two very huge things on this topic. One, I want to share, weekly I meet with a small cohort of warriors to share your dream. And a warrior shared earlier today with me, or the whole group, right? That I have so much gratitude for being in a group that challenges me to be a better business person, a better leader every single day. Never forget to give gratitude to the ones that held us up before we're strong. They call me Superman in the group, but the brothers are the heroes in my story. And it's a picture of him with $20 that he earned from selling his product. 20 fucking dollars. But it's not the $20. It's that I know that he's got my back and he knows that I have his, and that we're all in there with each other. Just let's go, let's go, let's go. So I feel on one hand that is there, but then there's another opportunity that I have where a developer, pretty experienced, viral, he's famous for what he's built inside of the technology space, wants to partner with me over a system that I've built. And he's leaning towards the idea of it being open source. And I'm struggling to make ends meet. I'm struggling to get rid of my debt. I'm struggling to do these things. And I'm pouring myself into building this system and ways of improving people's daily lives in this space. And I'm like, there is that protective mode of what you're describing. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to share this. There's no way I'm going to have this open source. Like, I would charge thousands of dollars for a person to have access to this, and he's suggesting we just give it away for free, open source. And so I'm really wrestling when I put that example to my heart, hearing what you're saying there, and I'm not quite sure how to rectify that.
All right. So then we look at the fruit on the tree. The guy who you're talking to, is he have more financial stability than you do?
Yes.
Okay. Has he shown you a business model that open source actually makes more than if you do it that way?
He is not, but he has done open source, which is how I found him. But
No,
I
no,
don't know
he's like,
the success.
but he could show you like open source actually makes way more than not open source, right?
That
Because he
would be
has
the
more than you.
question.
Because like he has more. Like he's like, no, I have more. If you're gonna start an apple orchard and you have one apple tree, and I'm like, I have an entire apple orchard, I have hundreds of trees. Let me teach you how to make an apple orchard work. Like, well, how many apple orchard trees do you have? He's like, well, I own 3 orchards and I have hundreds of trees. You're like, and how are you doing success wise? I have lots of fruit, so much fruit on my trees. You're like, okay, show me how open source works, because you might be right then. I don't know, because I'm only doing as far as I've known, and I don't know the answer to that. So maybe you're right. I have to be humble here. Maybe you're right. But as soon as I go, nope, I don't know what it is, so that means you're wrong. Which element of defense am I on right now? Which defense am I using? Pride. I'm blocking any new information because I have to be right to protect whatever it is that I have. So what are you protecting? You see, you've gone into fear because I'm so scared, because I'm having a scarcity mindset, that if somebody speaks abundance, I have to block that because I'm too scared to even allow that medication in to try to make me healthy. All I need to do is go like, let me look first. You may know something I don't know. And if he's like, yeah, I have way more than you do, I'll show you how to get more too. Well, before I tell somebody who has more than me how to be more successful, maybe I should see how they got successful too, and then apply the best practices that seem authentic to me. He might be right. And then there's an access point of like, hey, maybe it's both. Maybe it's open source with option for upgrade. Because I have apps that like to punish people with their own punishment and then charge them to not punish them with their own plan. Hey, you want to watch a commercial? I'll add commercials, but then I'll have you charged to take away the commercials I added for you.
Like, right. Premium subscription. Oh, you really should pay for Plus. Oh, I thought premium was as high as it went. But I want to take a moment here and acknowledge something, because this happened in real time and we were recording. Mm-hmm. That's how quick we get to the root. That is literally something that's heavy on my mind, heavy on my heart.
Well, what was your root then? Because it wasn't pride. Pride is a defender. Defending what?
So it's the scarcity, it's the fear. Fear was driving it.
Yeah, but fear is governing a kingdom. What is fear protecting? Now you're trying to protect something. So I don't want to lose something. What are you trying to not lose?
I don't want to lose what I created.
Right. So I created something. So now you're coveting your creation. I have to protect this. I have to protect this. So what are you putting faith in? Where's all of your attention and all of your faith going? Where's all of your attention and all of your faith going? You're focusing on losing, and you're not focusing on possibility. You don't have like, hey, God, is this the right direction? You're going, if I listen to you, I'll just lose everything. I better protect. And now you closed off. Well, now you're closed off from source. You're closed off to potential. You're closed off from growth. You're closed off from connection. Everything starts to get like fuzzy and hazy. Growth starts to stop radically because you're not looking at possibility. Now you're looking at protection.
And that's what, I'm able to see now with this challenge. And it is quite amazing with this concept of that entire, that one question, because he's literally like banging at my door to meet. Like he wants to meet, he wants to see what we've done and what I've done. And I'm really wrestling with, I know that he's going to want to lean in that direction. And it's like, so why would I not meet with him if he's literally like, hey, this thing that I created blew up, and now what you've created, I think could also blow up. So let me show you how to blow it up. And I'm like, no, you're gonna destroy it, when it's literally like, okay, so I don't understand how this works. Can you explain it to me?
Yeah.
And then
ask.
I just, shut the door to an opportunity that probably or could potentially be that next level thing. Yeah. And it's the God sending you signs, being on top of the roof waiting for somebody to save you. It's like, dude, I sent you the guy who was going to show you how to get open source going with the thing that you built. And what's funny about it, it's only one of like 20 different systems that I've built. So it's like, how much do I really care about that one system,
It's also like there's a prayer element on this. Like, what's my soul say this is the right way to go or not? Really go in like, is this the right? Let me see what it is. And you can gather information without it being a contract. Like I
Yeah.
can go like, well, what do you think? And what do you see? They're like, dude, here's what I did and here's how it works. And if you do this, you'll have this. You go, okay, I have to consider this. This is a really good idea. I didn't know that before. And so then you ask a lot of questions, get curious, be humble. When you do this, it opens up so many opportunities that are flying all over the place. So you're not wrong with going like, hey, you were praying for something like this to come along, then it came along, and then you shut it down.
You shut it down because of fear,
Yeah,
and
because of fear. It's like, where's your faith, man? Like, even the worst case scenario, if you've built the entire infrastructure and you understand it completely because you've grown into a person who can sustain it,
right.
Even the worst case scenario is not that big a deal.
And what you just said is where it's, what do you have fear over? Because it's like I said, it's a system that was built from a need that I needed to solve for myself. And then I shared it because I was proud of it. And it was like, wow, that is huge. We could totally use that also. Hey, let's talk more about it. And it's like, it wasn't the only idea I had. It wasn't the only thing I built. So,
let me show what, if you read the second paragraph that I sent you, because it's where you got stuck. The first one explains how you got stuck. Every distortion of the soul begins when we ask creation to provide what only the creator can give, which means I expect the world or the people around me or something from me to be the thing that gives me what only creation can give. This means I'm converting materials or I'm consuming materials. It's when I stop going to let's make it and I go into how can I make it out of this shit. Like it sounds complicated. It's actually really simple. Are you going to God or are you taking it from everything else? Like where are you getting your sources from, right? The counterfeit becomes dangerous at the moment it stops being something you possess and it becomes something you believe is saving you, which means this is my salvation. So the product that you built, you're like, this is my way out. This is my way up. This is the thing I need. I need this thing. This is the thing I need more than anything else. Instead of going, God, I need you, and you're going to use this thing for us to go somewhere, you're going, I don't need you. I need this thing to get me to where I want to go.
Oh my
You
goodness.
start worshiping the product and you stop worshiping, the creator. From that moment forward, it's no longer merely something you value. It's something you cannot afford to lose.
Yeah.
And so whatever you cannot afford to lose will eventually govern all your attention. It'll cultivate your beliefs and shape the person you become. And so now you're going to be a very different version of you because the dreamer isn't dreaming anymore. Now you're filled with fear and I have to keep it safe. Oh no, I can't afford to lose this. This is my thing. And now the thing that you wanted is now the thing that you're enslaved to. You work for that thing now. It doesn't work for you. And now you're completely isolated. You're separated. You keep pushing everybody away to make sure you can keep your thing. That's how all of them work. Every one of them works the same way. That's why I showed you the more that it works, it reveals the less that it works. You had a successful product that's working very well. And the more that it worked, the more you got scared that you'd lose it instead of going, how do I share it? You started wanting to give to get. And that's why it isn't working. But if you were to do what this guy says, you just give to give and then you'll get it. You're like, no, you Jesus motherfucker. I better not give to give because I need to get. That's what I need to do. I need to get right now. And if anything's going to make it so that I don't just get what I want from this, I can't afford that. I can't afford that. I won't be able to have enough. I won't be able to eat groceries. I won't be able to have a house to live. I won't be okay. I won't be okay. I have to hold on to this, the precious. I have to hold on to the precious. I can't lose the precious. If anything loses the pressure, I won't be able to have the precious. Do you see what I'm doing?
Not only see what you're doing, I'm seeing it in myself of what I am doing, and man, God is, I hate that this is a saying. God is so, I'm gonna swear with it so that I can make it not the saying. God is so fucking good.
It doesn't work without it. That's what Jesus is telling you. Like,
he is so good that he will even continue to provide for me when I can't provide for myself. Even when he knows that I'm going to go here, even when he knows that I'm going to get fucking backed into the corner by this thing that he, I prayed for this ability to do this. He gives it to me. And now I'm basically like, okay, I got it from here.
What's your relationship? What do you think God's relationship is to you? Ant number 5526485. Like, what do you think his relationship to you is? I'll help you out. If we call him, what do we call God? What's the name for not his name, but like heavenly what? What do we call him?
Yeah, Father, which
if he's Father, what are you? What's your title? And if he's Father, what are you? I'm not trying to trick you. This is really a simple question. If I'm somebody's dad, what's the kid that if I'm their dad?
Yeah, no, and I'm internalizing something that I want to be proud of saying that I'm connected with and that my faith isn't challenged, but man, it wouldn't be challenged if I was so driven by this fear.
It's not faith. If your faith can't be challenged, it's not faith.
Yeah.
No. If he is Father, what are you?
I don't know why it's challenging for me to say that I'm his son.
Yeah. So if you're his kid, that's like one of my kids. You're one of my kids. I want you to do well. A father, a good father, will love his kids so much that he will allow his kid to go through difficult things to earn his stripe to value shit.
Yeah.
I have to, I'll help you if you ask for help, but I'm not going to helicopter you, my guy. But you got to ask, and I'll give you the answer. Seek, you'll find. Knock, the door will open. But if you think you got it, listen, my guy, I love you enough to let you get it. You're going to fuck up, and I'm here for you. I'm going to love you through it when you do it.
Right.
I love you enough to let you fuck yourself up through it, so that way you learn what you need to learn to make it so you and I can stay connected, and it stops becoming about your own self-worship. So I have to love you through your self-worship. You have to fuck up to learn not to fuck up. And I love you enough to let you fuck up enough to learn.
Yeah.
Quote me on that.
Yeah, no, it's true. Rick, and I've seen it more times than not. I get so frustrated when I go through the Bible, because I do, that is my thing. I love it. And I get so frustrated when I hear the generations underneath the Israelites once they were freed from the Red Sea. Once they were freed from, captivity, the generation below was like, I need to prove that God exists. And it's like the generation above you was literally freed, but and then so God does it again and says, all right, same river. This time we're going to dry the whole thing out and you're going to go up it while people are chasing you. But then how many additional times was it challenged? God, I need to see that you're real. I need to see that you're providing miracles. I need to see you these things. And God does it time after time after time after time. And how many, and I get so frustrated because I was like, how could you, I think seeing the departure of the Red Sea would have been an example of enough. And it's like, okay, Noel, if that's true, look at the miracles that you've already experienced. Dude, you left with your wallet and your phone. That's all you had. And you've rebuilt to where you are now. What makes you think the same God that helped me then, that's the same God that freed the Israelites, is not the same God that'll help me get to where I'm going?
What's the answer?
I'm human. I'm human.
Well, no. I'm going to push you away from that. Don't cop out. No, really. Don't cop out. For real. Answer the question. Like, because you do a cop out answer, that's a coward's answer. No, I really want a real answer. How can you see so many miracles and not have faith? What's the real answer? Not I'm human and cop out. No, I have to have a real answer here.
I say that yes, it's you've provided plenty of miracles in my past, but you're not going to this time.
Yeah, because I don't actually believe in you. It doesn't matter how many miracles you provide. It doesn't matter how many times you've been truthful, honest, supportive, shown me what the way, given me the truth. It doesn't matter. I don't believe you. He's like, what else do I got to do for this kid?
So now what's interesting here, we're trying to circle this back around to the concept of these Epictetus compasses and the moral values being reflected back to you. You know, when you're angry, clearly you're showing where there's an inauthenticity in play here. If I'm angry at the Israelites in the story of why couldn't you just trust God?
It's because
I'm
projection.
angry because I'm also not trusting God. I'm also not believing.
Yep, projection is ironic. Stacks Like's going to hit him with that one. It's because you're projecting the thing you hate about yourself on them. The irony is you hate them for being like you. What a bunch of idiots, right?
It's so fucked up, man.
People do it every day. People do it all day, every day. Projection's ironic is anything that people are judging others for is generally a thing that they're doing themselves. Matthew 7:1. Don't judge others unless you want to be judged the same way. You're generally going to say, look at how shitty they are when they have a little sliver in their eye. You have an entire log in your eye. Projection is ironic. That's what he's talking about. It's the irony of me hating you for something I do worse. I can judge you when I'm the one doing it worse than you are. That's what Jesus is talking about. Sermon on the Mount's fucking dropping thunderbolts on motherfuckers. That's projection is ironic. Have you noticed that all of my quotes, if you break down my aphorisms, are all linked to this dude? I'm dropping super Thor's hammers on people. And I'm just repeating back what this guy said in a different way. I just got my own version of the Sermon on the Mount, but it's the exact same lesson just said with a lot more fucks.
It's funny because it's like, how many times do I have to be told just let go?
What are you holding on to? Go the other way. Let go of what? What are you holding on to, my guy? Like, again, it's not that you're sinning, it's you're choosing a failing strategy. It's like, so
so if I had to answer that question, it's God will move mountains, but he's going to ask you to bring a shovel. I feel as though I can't just let go and be like, okay, God, you've got it, so take control. It's like, okay, God, I let go, you have control, but I still need to have my hand on the joystick.
Where are you trying to go? Control what? Joystick for where? Like, this is what I'm saying. Is like, what are you trying to do here? It's like I'm trying to drive to nowhere. I'm trying to be the boss of I don't know. Like, I'm like, these are confusing things to be in control of. Like, all right, so you're the joystick guy for what? And what are you going to create God can't?
Yeah.
What are you doing? What doing?
No, that's good.
It's right there. It's the same pattern. And this is why the advanced training I'm going to do is going to be so effective, is I'm going to teach you how to be a good appraiser. Is this counterfeit or is this authentic? Like, I'm going to teach you the formula for this. This is why it's so revolutionary. It's like, I'm just pointing it out to you right now. I'm going to teach you to see what I see. So that way these things can't get you. It's not, I won't be bad anymore. No, it just doesn't apply to me anymore. No different than kindergarten behavior doesn't apply to you now. I've outgrown this behavior. Once you learn how to identify counterfeits, it's not that you're going to be tricked or scammed or duped. It's like, why would I want something that doesn't work? It's a broken toy. It's not. This isn't a working thing. It's not that you have to resist the urge. It's just, it doesn't work, so I won't do it. Like, that's not mine. It's not for me. It's like, hey, man, you want to smoke some fucking crack, man? You're like, no, because crack is not healthy, and I want to be healthy, so I don't smoke crack. Not like I'm not allowed to smoke crack. I'll get in trouble. No, I don't smoke crack. That's not a tough fucking debate for me. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where, like, it's not that you're trying to resist something or overcome temptation or losing the trial. It's like, no, my authenticity doesn't apply to things that hurt me and hurt others. It's so stupid. No, I work towards love and connection. I understand the treasures of heaven are worth a bajillion times more than the vapor on earth that you're trying to gather. I'm like, doesn't make any sense, dude. I understand what real value is, and it's not a piece of paper, dipshit.
And I think that is the direction. The authenticity and connection is the direction, and it shows. So it also shows, like, even in the example, like this moment of this warrior sharing this moment with me is where the direction is. Like, I want more of that, and I want us to achieve these dreams that we have. And so I want to see others achieve those dreams, and I want to see my dreams get achieved. Like with the music we've been creating, with some of the videos that I've been able to create to support the music that we're creating. Like, these are childhood dreams that I've never thought would be possible, that are now not only possible. So I shared the greatest project I've ever created on my last week's meeting with the guys. And I'm so proud of this project. Like, I've been in this field for 30 something years, and like, this is literally the best thing I've ever created. And when I was sharing it with everybody, because I was showing them the process of how I created it, which is the process that the guy wants me to open source, I got emotional while showing it, because I was seeing it. I was like, look at that dream. It's right there playing in front of you. And that's the direction. That's where I'm heading. And I there's money's not involved in that. There's nothing about that said money. You want to see it?
The thing you're the most proud of in your whole entire life?
Yes.
Yeah, I want to see it. I've been waiting for him sitting on the edge of my chair here eating a fucking protein bar. Of course I want to see it.
All right, let's check it out. What a throw. What a throw to that. Okay. See my screen okay? Such a silly question. Can you see my screen okay? I can see my screen okay. Sound check.
Clocking in on the hourly grind, tying a leash to the back of my mind, strapped to the chair for the polygraph wire, walking myself back into the fire. I brought the talking stick, I brought the clock, I brought the keys to my own padlock. I thought the shame was a friend of mine, I thought the pain was a finish line. And they say the herd will turn and run and get chased down by the setting sun. But if you look it in the eye, you'll break into There was no There was no end. Reset the date, reset the clock, swallow the key, rattle the lock. A simple hug, a simple pledge, balancing on a razor's edge. I tried to strengthen the muscle of grief, I tried to buy a single second of relief. I was a cow in a slaughterhouse line, begging the butcher to give me a sign. The herd will turn and run and get chased down by the setting sun. But if you charge the hurricane, you buy your freedom with the pain. So I played the bison, I leaned into the wind, I let the hurricane tear off my skin. I stood in the center, I took every hit, thinking I'd finally walk out of it. But there was no clear end in sight, there was no end. I just got comfortable sitting in the shame. You can walk through a hurricane because a hurricane ends, but you can't walk through the wind. When the wind just is. Took every hit, thinking I'd finally walk out of it. But there was no clearing, there was no end. I played the bison, waiting for the sun. The storm was just you. Look what I've done.
It's pretty great, man. And the way you did your video, that's what you were working on, is like making it so the video works, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty good. It goes just right along with what I've been saying. Here's a couple questions to leave you with, because it goes right along with your bison thing. Your desire was good, but it's placed in the hands of a counterfeit promise. What do you want? That's one thing. But who do I trust to get me there? And these motherfuckers that corrupt God to try to make it so they're the way out, calling you to be the bison while they fucking are the storm. Hysterical. Counterfeit God. These are false prophets. This is what Jesus talks about. Is these motherfuckers, they were parasites. Parasites dressed up as salvation. When the parasite sells you that they're the cure, isn't that the trick? You're like, I'm trying to go through the storm here. It's not working. They're like, just keep going. Just keep going. You're like, I'm getting weaker here and I'm feeling sick. And they're like, no, that's what happens before you'd have breakthrough. Like, I'm really feeling not good here. I'm seeing my bones. I'm getting really, it's like, you're almost through. It's that's how God made it. And God's so good. And you got, and if, what, is God not good enough for you? And you're like, I think you guys are killing me. You're like, no, it's part of faith. Fucking hypocrites. They're all false prophets. but you trusted them and you focused on them and you gave them everything that they asked for. God does not do what these false kings do. The way you can tell if you're worshiping a false idol is these false idols all take. It's not reciprocal. It's one-sided. They take and they take and they give you the most beautiful promises. I promise you love. I promise you belonging. I promise you significance. I promise you peace. I promise you safety. I promise you security. I promise you a place amongst the herd. You are one of us. I promise you something good. And man, they just start taking sacrifices from you. Sacrifice this, sacrifice this, sacrifice this. Real God, love doesn't require you to sacrifice. He'll make reciprocal exchanges that help you grow. But if your sacrifices are making you smaller, weaker, less, hurt, painful, as soon as it starts getting like, this is uncomfortable, I'm starting to worry more, I'm starting to hurt more, I'm in more pain than I've ever been. Which God? If God is love, why are you being tortured? Wrong God. These are the indicators. Once you get really good at these appraisals, you're like, you're using an animal that does a behavior to manipulate me into worshiping you. This is a clever fucking trick. What's the point of me doing your bison analogy here? Well, if you do this, it's the fastest way out of the storm. What's the purpose of this storm? Don't ask that. No, 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 no. Go through the storm. It's like, now you're control. Okay. All right. I'm starting to see there's a bypass here. You're trying to get me to cheat growth here to make it so I can have a conformity or compliance to you, making it so this person now is in charge. So that way I can be loved and approved of and happy by compromising and sacrificing everything I am by going through this storm. So that way I can actually somehow earn love, be tortured and manipulated and controlled and conformed into something that's worthy of love. That's your sales pitch. This is a Brolex. This isn't a Rolex. This isn't a real thing. These are Bear Jordans, not Air Jordans. These are not the same thing. These are counterfeit, man. These are bullshit. You want to sell me these holy shoes? These are called holy Nikes. These ain't Nikes. This is bullshit. This is off-brand, bro.
Schneckers.
Yeah.
Holy Schneckers.
Holy Schneckers.
The holy shoes. That's real popular down here in Florida. It's the Grocs.
Yeah. Strocks. So silly. And so just pointing these things out to go like, once you now see this is like that entire belief system, that entire organization was utilizing something that was good, corrupting the plan to make it so now they can parasitically destroy all people who put trust and faith into them and not into God. But they use God as the front to be able to manipulate people into taking everything that's good about them away from them. God does not do these things. Man does. People who worship themselves, if you catch the behavior, are trying to skip growth and skip connection to gather more. The source of how they get is everyone else, or even the potential self, depending on if you worship fear and things like this. And so there's elements of like, I'm trying to gather from you. I need to take from you. I need to take from you. I need to take from you. So that way I have abundance. I am better than. And this gets into really sick things. It gets into envy and vainglory and gets into greed and gluttony. It's in endless versions of all these things. You going into versions of self-destruction and mutilation in order to somehow find some value or appreciation from others. You're like, if I mutilate myself enough and I atone, they call it atonement. True atonement is exchanged. not sacrifice. True atonement, you can fucking quote me because I've done it, is exchange, not sacrifice. I didn't sacrifice the shitty elements of me. I exchanged it for a virtue, something that doesn't serve me anymore. I exchanged for something that does. I didn't sacrifice that. I gained something from it. True atonement isn't I lose something. True atonement is I gain something worth having at the exchange of something that doesn't serve me anymore. I don't worship myself. So now I have a virtue that makes it so self-worship seems fucking ridiculous. That doesn't make any sense. I know it doesn't work. I did it. I tried driving without a fucking oil filter. It just spews oil everywhere until the fucking engine burns out. I did it. You're like, well, what about this one? You could try this one without an oil filter. I'm like, I'm driving with an oil filter. I'm not doing it. You can't sell this to me. You see what I mean? Like if you try to sell a counterfeit, I won't buy it because I did it. And now I don't use any element of feeding that strategy anymore. I did it. It doesn't work. There's only one way it worked. Narrow is the path. Isn't me telling you what to do. It's there's only fucking one way it works. There's only one way you actually get the thing. That's why I said, like, there's only a few directions we can go on this thing. But being able to be very, very clear of like, where's the bypass and what am I trying to do here? It really makes it so your clarity on which direction you're going is crystal. There's only one way it works. You can't sell it to me in any other way. Once you understand that, it's not Jesus telling you you're a good or bad person. He's just saying if you do it in a way that doesn't work, it doesn't work. That's the point. Not a judgment. It's instructions. So thanks for sharing your video.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's just an honor to be able to share that with you. It's a story that I feel needs to be told because there's a lot of guys suffering in that space. I just dreamt of a good friend of mine that's still in it. It was so vivid, man. It was so vivid. And we're just led to believe that you have to do this to get through the other side.
Mhm.
But my experience was, yeah, sure. The what's also kind of fun is it's buffalo that go towards the storm, not bison. Bison act like cows. So there's a little bit of an inside joke even with the whole track itself. But
that's nice.
But the promise of being able to walk through a storm instead of running away from it, it'll chase you, versus you just turn and face it, you'll get through it quicker. Well, that works if there's a storm. When it's just wind, you're not going to be able to walk through the wind. Like the wind is just going to be windy.
It's so funny that these are strategies that people think make sense. Like, well, I'm not a fucking buffalo, so why don't I just get in the house? Oh, why don't I just get in the storm shelter? Like, no, you got to walk through the fucking hurricane. I'm like, I'll just go inside. I'm not going to do that. I'll just go to shelter. Well, buffalo can't do that. I'm not a buffalo. This is where like you take a step back and go like, what are we talking about? Well, the buffalo walked through the storm, so you need to weather the storm. And you saw my podcast, my video on like any groups that use weather the storm destroy families. It's a fucking fact. Any you want to talk to any of your fucking experts who want to use weather the storm, I will have the conversation and I will break down piece by piece why they destroy fucking families. I don't give a shit. I don't care how big the fucking the men's organizer is. I don't give a shit if they got 1 billion fucking followers. I'll break down every element of how you destroy families so you can make money. I'll break it down for you. No problem. This isn't something I'm boastful. It's something that is fucking true. So it's those kinds of things where these guys do this stuff to try to convince you you're a fucking buffalo. You're like, no, I'm a human fucking being. I need to get in the house, the storm shelter. I don't have to go through a fucking storm and call that righteous or virtuous. No, I'm smart enough to know, take shelter when there's storm, go where there's a place that's like, hey, we're good here. We wait this out. Then we go and clean up and take care of the stuff that has happened from the storm. It's fine. We'll be fine. It's not our first one. But I got this guy out here fucking getting all fucked up with debris and shit. I'm like, why are you outside? They told me I'm a buffalo. It's like, you're not a buffalo, bro. You should come inside, dude. You want a coat? Like, what are you doing? They said I can't have a coat in the storm. Who the fuck is they? You're not a buffalo. Get a coat on. What the fuck are you doing? This is where like the voice of reason is the weird one. Like this guy thinks he's a buffalo. He thinks he's a fucking buffalo. He's not a buffalo. So what the fuck is he doing? I'm the weird one? Okay. Oh, we just got hit with a fucking tree branch. Oh, fuck. He's down. Oh, he thinks he's got to get... Okay. Yeah, he's crawling. Why are you doing this? I'm being heroic. Against who? And for who? What?
So as I struggle to find, I can choose to make it a struggle, or I can call it a journey. So as I journey through how to launch this creative project, this is a collaboration between what I feel has worked. It's something that works for me. The tracks that I produce as codename Neo, which is a codename that I created from Warrior's Way mindset, where there is no spoon, was a very big, insightful moment that I had to come to when sort of evolving from the experiences that I've had that I have now come from. I am leaning in onto all of the insanity that did go on as a creative expression, as a form of art therapy, as a way to dismiss the beast, because I've seen this when you take the thing that you don't want to talk about reflected back to you in a song, it immediately dispels any of the power that it has over my subconscious. So my lane is going to be digging into those sorts of areas. But as you can see, Rick is super amazing with very insightful, practical, and real techniques that work. So I want to encourage anyone that's learning of Warrior's Way through this platform to look into it. There's men's groups, there's women's groups, but it's very important work that's going on over there. And I'm speaking from being on the other side of it. And I'm just incredibly honored to be a part of it. And then to have this collaboration where Rick's sharing unpublished and published concepts and theories that we're going to turn into lessons and or episodes for people to enjoy and sit there, eat your Doritos while you watch real work happen. No, to experience concepts that if you apply them, it won't take long for you to see that they work. And the part that I love the most, I get chills over, is that when we turn these into bangers, when we turn these into songs that don't fit a genre of music, the music just is. You may hear standards, you may hear K-pop, you may hear a rap song, you may hear country, you may hear something boot stomping. We hope that what you hear is something very powerful that can help transform your life and make some sort of connection that makes your day-to-day a little bit better.
You know what's fun is I didn't realize we were doing a podcast, so that's cool. I thought we were just hanging out. This is how I really talk. I didn't even know we were doing a show. So I think it's really cool, though. I think there was a famous apostle way after Jesus, and he said something about when you tell the truth about something, it seems like it liberates you from whatever was binding you to the lies. How do you say that? Something about the truth will set you free. The way out of hell. Tell the fucking truth. Get humbled. Love is the way out. There's only one way out, my guy. Anything except for telling radical truths is just going to make you stay stuck longer. Tell everybody everything. Fuck it. Whatever. What am I going to do? Control everybody's opinion? What a fucking prison. No. Ask a question. Tell you the answer.
Thank you, bro.
Oh, you're welcome. Let's drink some drinks. Clink.
Clink.
All right, my guy. I gotta let these dogs out. Good to hang with
All
you,
right, man. Yeah, same. And we'll create some tracks. We'll create some podcasts. We'll create some awesomeness out of all this shit. This is not going to fall on the floor. This is not going to land on the editing floor. We're gonna fucking make some magic here. So for sure.
You don't gotta cut anything I said. Say everything, even at the end. I'm like, we're doing a podcast. Post it up. I don't care.
Yeah. All right, man. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, later, bro.
Bye.